Mythology is a powerful statement to the extraordinary journeys of women who dared to step into the unknown, embrace uncertainties, and redefine success in their own forms. And today, we are privileged to hear from one of the incredible co-authors of the book, a woman whose story captures the essence of risk and its transformative power, none other than Doreen Irungu. Doreen, we are very excited to have you. Thank you for saying yes to this call, and I know that we are in for a good time. I will request you to let us see you, you're there on the video. I will ask you to tell us something about yourself, even as we dive into the conversation of the day. Doreen Irungu, you're very welcome.
Thank you so much, Dottie, for this opportunity. I'm so happy and excited to be part of this storytelling journey. And I'm also so excited to have taken part or written a chapter in this book among the women who are taking risk and what they are doing. My name is Doreen Irungu, and I'll take this opportunity to welcome all those who are joining us this evening, and thank you for coming. I'm the founder of Ustawi Africa, an organization that works with the rural women. I'm also a founder of several other programs. And as we continue, you'll get to know me and get to know my story. We take this opportunity to welcome you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Doreen, for that brief intro. I was expecting to hear more, but it's okay. As we continue, we shall get to know you more. Now, as we dive into this conversation, I want to encourage us to actively engage with us. You can put your thoughts in the chat. Feel free to drop in something in the chat. You can jot down your questions. Doreen is here to answer them. If you have anything you want her to attend to, we shall allocate time for that. So feel free to engage with us. We will also be sharing some information in the chat about how you can get the book, how you can register for the launch, because this very book, We Took the Risk, which Doreen has co-authored with other 13 women, is to be launched on the 30th of November at the Trademark Hotel, and we are looking to hosting you on that day. So Doreen, let us get into the business of the day. I would just want you to share with us some of the what your experience has been being part of this collaborative work. How did you find it? Please share with us.
If you allow me, I can share my screen, Dottie, kindly, so that I'm able to do presentation.
Okay.
Presentation.
Have you sent a request to share?
Yes. It's still disabled, but we can continue as we work on that.
Okay.
I'm not able to share from my side, but it's okay. Just as I began and I said, who is my name? I can just go into detail as you requested me to go to the detail. In this year, I had an opportunity of winning several awards. So I can call myself a 2024 World Food Prize Pioneer. I had also an opportunity of being named as one of the Tech Women 2024 Fellow by the US Department. And I had an opportunity to do what we call the job shadowing in America for almost 6 weeks, which was quite a blessing to me. Apart from that, I am a founder of the program that won the award in Silicon Valley. We call that initiative Mentor Match, whereby we are planning on matching women in STEM who are graduates with mentors so who can be able to guide them and work with them. There are so many accolades that I can be able to mention about, but we can just get to the business of the day and talk about how I came to know about this journey. And how I came to know about this journey is when I wrote a story of one of the founders who committed suicide in Nigeria. And when I was narrating about the pain we go through as founders, and by that time I was talking about that I had gone through several processes of trying to look for funds, trying to navigate the waters, but the time was very challenging, and I could realize why one of my friends committed the suicide. And I wrote, if you go to my LinkedIn, you'll see the story I wrote about him and the pain we were going through as founders, but the fact that one of us has just committed suicide, and this is somebody we know very well. And I don't know why I have echo. Can you hear echo? Don't you able to hear me clearly?
Yes, there's an echo.
I don't know where the echo is coming from.
An echo, it's a background noise from somewhere.
Can try and see if you're able to mute everybody. Let me see.
You can try speaking.
Can we kindly mute Zion Pile Publisher, or we mute Dottie, one of them?
Okay, Zion-Pal Publishers. Okay, let me ask Zion-Pal Publishers to mute.
Yes.
Actually, I was logged in on 2 gadgets. And
Yes, Carla Inyaga is saying Zion Publisher is where the echo is coming from, so that we don't have that echo in. Thank you. So when I shared the painful story about what we founders, entrepreneurs, people who are trying to build startups in Africa go through, and when I talked about the pain we were going through by that time, that we lost just somebody whom we have interacted for so many years with, and somebody was doing so quite well in building the startup. That story touched so many people, and that is when Mr. Radido approached me and requested me to do the story in the book, We Took the Risk. The request never came as an easy task, because I was not prepared to put anything down. But then when he requested me to be part of this story, I had to sit back and ask myself, what can I tell people? What can I share? Or what is there in my life that I can give out to other people? If any one of you had got a chance to read my chapter in this book, you can see somehow it sounds so poetic. And this is because when he told me we need to document your story, what came to my mind was the stories that I have written down in small pieces, and the pain that I have recorded in my diary. And in most of the cases, I was recording these pains, struggles, challenges that I was going through in a very poetic manner. And I tried to publish a blog about what we women who are entrepreneurs in Africa, as African founders, we go through. And in this blog, I talked about trying to navigate the uncharted waters, the unseen world, where you are trying to grow, but there is a ceiling above you, you are not able to grow, trying to look for funds, you can't get them, trying to gain visibility, and you can't grow beyond where you are. And I talked about the uncharted water. And so when Mr. Radido talked about this, I shared to him about the blog that I have written. And the most interesting part was, like, I had several blogs that I had not published, and I had time to look at them. And every day when I was looking at these blogs, every day that I was going through my diary to look what I can talk about, I realized, like, each and every moment, every piece of my work that I had written down was bringing the emotion, the experience, the pain that I went through. And the book brought me to a point of vulnerability, because I had to look into depth what I want to tell other women, and it gave me an opportunity to rethink about what I'm doing as a person. It was also a process that was so therapeutical to me and reaffirming, because each and every day as I went through this process, I could remember the challenges that I overcome. I could remember the awards I won. I could remember the accolades that I had. I could remember the pain I went through a certain given moment when I recorded something. And the experience gave me an opportunity to think again about my life and what I want to achieve in my life. It has not been a very easy process, but my takeaway from writing this book has been reaffirming about how I can tell the stories to other founders, how I can be able to encourage a young woman somewhere they are trying to start, or a young person somewhere they are trying to start their startup, trying to build it, trying to navigate so many challenges that they are trying to look forwards. And the beauty of it is that this book gave me that opportunity to learn, grow, and take a bold step toward telling my story and toward writing a story that can be able, that any other young person or any other woman outside there can be able to relate to.
Wow. Thank you, Doreen. That is a very inspirational introduction of how you got yourself to be part of this anthology. And thank you for sharing. I would just want to know, even before we enter into the details of your writing and part of your stories that you're willing to share with us, let me look at your process of being part of this collaborative work. How did you find it? Now, the involvement in the writing, are there challenges that you faced, and how did you overcome them?
Yes, one of the big challenge was finding confidence within myself to talk about my personal story and talk about what I have gone through. I think just like I've said, the book gave me an opportunity to rethink about my life and to look at the barriers that we women, we try to jump, the challenges that we try to figure out, and how we try to navigate the societal expectation, because there is those expectations. And one of the biggest challenge that I faced writing this book, and I know this can be related to so many of us who have written this book, is the fear to come out and tell my story, and the fear of just sitting back and thinking, when I publish this story and it goes out there, will people judge me? Will people get anything out of my article? Will this article be able to because the article will remain for quite a long time. The book will remain there for the longest time. Once you publish it and there is a question you're asking yourself, will this book really make a meaningful impact to another person? And I know how many times we called these articles back to us to relight again. I know you are my witness, how many times we asked, like, can I edit my story again?
Yeah.
And we took time because we were trying to edit over and over. And every time I looked at my story, because I've said, if you go through my story, you realize that I've written it in a very poetical way, not like I'm addressing a certain issue. I could look at it and think, like, am I making the right choice to say, like, at a stage where I can write my story, or I need to take some time and grow older a little bit and tell my story after some few years after I've gathered some courage. So I fear has been one of the biggest thing that has attacked me as an author, as a leader, and feeling like I'm not enough to come out there. And I will talk about this imposter syndrome, when you just grow across the ladders, and so many times you set back and you're like, I'm not very sure whether I deserve to get this opportunity to write this book. I'm not very sure whether I deserve to win this award. I'm not very sure whether I deserve to be in this position, talking to other women. And I think over a given period, and even when I was writing this book, something that that helped me so much is that the book helped me confront my own fears and my own imposter syndrome by myself, alone somewhere trying to light it. And the number of times that I closed my laptop and said like, no, I'll just write to Mr. Radido and say like, I'm not ready to do this. And then when I go, I'm like, this is the given opportunity to do this. Why are you scared? Why are you drawing yourself back? And the challenges that I'm facing, I know so many other young people here can resonate with. So many times we are scared to come out of our small dark room because we are scared of how people will judge us, how people will talk about us. And so many times we are fighting the imposter syndrome by ourselves. And so many times we are scared about the societal expectations that people have toward us as leaders. But then I would say writing this has helped me confront that, because now I know the book is already out there. And for sure, I have to come out and defend my article.
Thank you. Listening to you, Doreen, the imposter syndrome is coming out as one of the strongest hurdles to risk-taking.
Yeah.
I'm glad you overcame it, and here you are today, a published author, and soon launching your book. Thank you for saying yes to the risk, and we know that many lives will be impacted like is the desire of your heart. I just wanted to know again, as we continue, what is your perspective? What is your general perspective on risk-taking, and why is it such an important concept for the woman in today's society?
Number one is about, it's all about defining risk-taking. For me, risk-taking means stepping out of your comfort zone and choosing to face the uncertainties or the challenges or the societal expectations that I have talked about, and pursuing something that is very meaningful. The woman of today has to overcome the barriers that are there, the stereotype barriers. There is a lot we need to do when it comes to redefining the norms. There is a lot that we have to do when it comes to striving for the opportunities that may seem readily accessible, but they are not very accessible to us as women. When I talk about this, I know taking risk to me, it has given me an opportunity to grow even Ustawi to a global level, which was not something that has been quite a very easy journey. It has been a journey full of so many challenges. But then I had to redefine my risk in the beginning. And what I said is that I had to work on myself and my competence as a person. I had to work on making sure that I have the skills that are required for me to be able to take the risk. When women are trying to take the risk across every given sector, whether they are trying to break the ceiling, where they are trying to grow along the ladder and become leaders or become visible person, or even whether they are trying to acquire visibility within the entrepreneurship world, you find like we women, we are judged by so many things than men are judged. And therefore you find as a woman who is still growing, because I've not completed the journey of growth, I have to say the number one thing that I have done with my life is to define my risk, is to go through a journey of redefining the norms and understanding that people will not accept me as I am, but I have to sharpen myself, sharpen my skill, and people will accept me because there is something in me that they need. So the journey of risk-taking has a lot to do with equipping yourself, number one, making sure that you can be accepted by the world, and you have something that you have to offer to the world. Historically, women have been conditioned as risk takers, and women have the strength to overtake or to overcome all the risk that can be handed to them. But in most of the times you'll find like we are so much scared to overcome this risk, just as I have come, because we are confronted by things like imposter syndromes. We are scared of how to balance our lives between myself, a mother, a wife, a manager, a CEO, and you realize like all these things has been restricting us from growth. But when I think about this book, We Took a Risk, what comes to my mind is how much we have sacrificed to jump the handles, how much we have sacrificed even to lose the relationships that they had a bigger meaning to our lives, just to find ourselves growing along the ladder. And taking risk is essentially, or is an essential step that every person, not only women, but even the young people, men who are here, need to understand. Like it's a personal journey. It's something that you have to make a personal decision that I want to take risk to grow along the ladder. Because there is nobody who will offer you anything on a silver platter, and therefore you will have to strive, you will have to sharpen your skills, you will have to work day and night until you become the person that you want to become. It's about reclaiming our inner power to become the kind of people we want to become. Being an influencer, being a leader, being another who can be able to speak about matters that are affecting people, it's not quite an easy task. And it demands us each and every time to embrace continuous learning. It demands us each and every time to go, to draw back and think about our journey and what we need and what the world is demanding. So that's what I can say about the perspective of risk-taking and why it is important.
Thank you, Doreen. One thing is standing out strongly for me, and it is about self-equipment. You're saying it is not safe to enter into a risk venture if you're not well prepared for it. So there should be some sense of continuous learning. Powerful. Thank you for that. This webinar is brought to us by Zion Pearl Publishers. We are looking at We Took the Risk, the value of risk-taking, and why women should embrace it as a strategy for growth and success. Speaking to us today is Doreen Irungu, and it's getting interesting. More is coming. So Doreen, I'm looking at your chapter, and your title is Beyond the Pitch. You're actually the author of chapter 4. Can you share with us what inspired this title?
Yes, Dottie, I can talk about being an entrepreneur, and I've just said I think this year I've formed the third organization that I'm working on. Every time we build a startup, an organization, every given person is requesting for a pitch deck. Like, can I see your pitch deck? Can I see your proposal? Can I see your documents? And people who request these people from different disciplines. These are investors, these are other founders, these are accelerator program, and they all keep requesting for the pitch deck. And I sat down and I thought, like, everybody requests for the pitch deck, but nobody sits back to ask us about our life as founders and as entrepreneurs. And I'm happy because in this webinar, I have people like Purity who have worked with me for quite a long time, and she understands how many days we use to craft this pitch deck. And when we are crafting these pitch decks, everybody wants to see what you have written in the pitch deck. And the pitch deck is what qualifies you to get an opportunity, either in an accelerator, in a fellowship, or to speak about your agenda in a given meeting or a conference. And the pitch deck is also what decides the money that a guarantor or even an investor can give you. So I realized, like, as a startup founder, as an entrepreneur, people judge me by my pitch deck. And beyond the pitch deck, nobody gets to look at me, who I am or what I do. And therefore, that is what inspired me to write the chapter Beyond the Pitch Deck. What else do I do after writing all the pitch decks, after working so many times to speak to the world through a very simple document that's called a pitch deck? And that document, we spend hours and hours, and we even invest a lot of our money to make sure that the document is refined and the document is able to speak our mission, our values, and what we want to do with our projects. So beyond the pitch deck, it's a chapter that you'll go through and understand what else happens beyond the pitch deck. There is a lot of other challenges that we founders, we face. There are hurdles that we try to jump. There are uncharted waters that we try to navigate, and all these stories are not written on what we call the pitch deck. People who are out there requesting the pitch deck, they will never understand when a founder is struggling mentally. They will never be able to see what it takes to become a mother, a CEO at the same time. They'll never be able to see the challenges that you are facing as a person trying to build your young startup somewhere in Africa, and you don't have money, and you don't have visibility, and you don't have even the experience needed and the skills needed to build it. So within that chapter, I have featured stories from why we need to work on ourselves, why we need to have the continuous method of learning as founders, so that when we come to this pitch deck, we have something that we are offering. I've talked about the issue or the role of being a mother at the same time. And also I've talked about a very important topic about finding your tribe. Finding your tribe is a topic to me that is so dear, because if there is time that a founder feels like you are so lonely, is when you are building this organization or these startups. And when you miss people that you can talk to, when you miss your tribe, then you miss everything. Building your tribe is all about having people who surrounds you, who understands the challenges you are going through as a leader, who understands when you are going down, even the whole of what you are going through. Building your tribe, to me, it's one of the biggest lessons that I have learned during this given time. And this is because I started the journey of Ostawi way back in 2019, and all down the line, I've lost even some of the meaningful relationship that I had back then. And when it comes to understanding who is there to support you, who is there to work with you, who is there to see the vision to the length, who is there to see you beyond what you are doing today, who is there to see you as a person who has the vision. That's what inspired me, especially to write that chapter, Building Your Tribe. I came to realize in most of the cases, as a young founder, as a woman, so many people who come in your life will never be able to see you as you are. And especially they will be able to see you as a woman. Most of them will be able to see you just as Dottie and nothing else. And we need to, as people who are trying to grow, people who are trying to form these startups, we need to think people who surrounds us and what they are bringing and what they can see in us that we are not able to see, and how they can be able to become the champions of every given chapter of our life, whether we are going through pain, whether we are going through challenges, whether we are winning the award. These are the people who are able to stand and work with us. The other thing that I have talked about in that book, apart from the chapter of building building our tribe, is beyond the titles. You see, the beyond the title is something very interesting, because when we win awards, there are so many times that people just see, I've won the award. I've been recognized here. I've been recognized there. I've been speaking here and I'll be speaking there. But we need to see what else that gets behind the title. And behind the title, there is the sweating, there is a lot of tears, there is a lot of sacrifice that is not written in this single title. And that's what I've written in the page where I'm talking about the titles. When we win everything, it doesn't mean everything. There is a lot of other things that goes beyond that. So there is so much that I can include in this book beyond the pitch deck, but then I don't want to exhaust it because some of the people here need to buy and understand it better. But yes, those are the things that we talk when that I have written down when I written the chapter beyond the pitch deck. What else goes in there as a person? What else do you need to put around to become and to be able to grow along the radar?
Thank you, Doreen. You have really scratched the surface of your writing. We are still keeping the cat in the basket. Let people order for that book. We have our online order form available in the chat. If you want a copy of this book, please look into the chat. There is an order form available there for you. You can make a pre-order and we can have the book delivered to you. And excitingly also, this book will be launched on the 30th of November at the Trademark Hotel. We have a registration link shared with you in the chat. You may want to be part of this exciting experience. Please comfortably go in there, enter your details, register, and come join us on the 30th as we celebrate these wonderful, awesome, incredible women who have authored the book. Should you be having any questions or concerns, even as the conversation continues or thereafter, our contacts are available also in the chat. You can write them down and later on get in touch with us. We will be so ready to serve you. Thank you for joining us today. We are looking at We Took the Risk, the value of risk taking, and why women should embrace it as a strategy for growth and success. Our guest or speaker today is none other than Doreen Irungu, the founder of Ustawi Africa. Thank you, Doreen. So far, so good. And back to you. If you have any questions, feel free to also post them. We have Doreen here and she's ready to share her experience, her stories with us. And she's also ready to attend to our questions. So drop your comments on the chat. Drop your questions in the chat. I will read them aloud and she will be here to attend to them. Now, Doreen, you are a founder. And looking at your growth and your progress, you began from nowhere and currently is somewhere. I know not just from your own self, but also from your research, because you know when you're founding something, you really do an in-depth kind of research. In your experience, what are some of the unique challenges that African founders face when navigating this landscape of entrepreneur?
Yes, one of the big challenges that everybody, if you ask any founder, will say it's lack of resources, number one. Lack of resources, this includes lack of finances to raise your organization or to do even the strategic plan that you have. And this challenge affects women more than it affects men. And this is because African women, most of the times we are judged by just the color. And number two, you find like most of the projects that we are trying to do, most of the investors would consider them like just women projects. And when men comes in, you find like even the investors will ask them what we call the promotional questions, while women are being asked the questions that they need to defend themselves and what they are doing. So women are highly affected by the issue of lack of resources. And the other thing is that women even lack visibility And feasibility, I mean, for you to be able to attract money in this given world, but for you to be able to attract anything, you have to be very feasible. You have to be feasible in a way that when a person is searching for you and what you're doing, you are across the digital prints, and they can be able to see you easily. So you find like African women, most of them, they lack the feasibility. And the few people who get this feasibility, they retain the feasibility. So the feasibility is not able to be distributed across even the young founders who are coming up. And I have founders here, and you can go look across, and you realize, like, if in Africa, certain organization managed to find one person, the other organization that is coming to Africa will still recognize that given person. So you find we lack organizations that are able to promote our feasibility, because even the organizations that will come after, they will still recognize that one person that was recognized. So if women can be able to get feasibility, they can be able to attract funds. But you find like lack of feasibility and lack of funds is something that works one-on-one. And lack of funds comes close with lack of resources, because funds and resources, they work together. If person becomes feasible, you realize like even people are able to offer that given person the resources they require to build their startup. People will be able to talk about, we can be able to offer you a HR who can be working with you, and we'll be paying him or her. We are able to offer you this given software because you have feasibility. But when you don't have feasibility, you don't have money, you don't have these resources. And when you go to my book, you'll find me talking about this challenge and how women need to start learning about bootstrapping their project as early as they can. And I know it's not very easy to do that, but then that's one way of making sure that your project is growing and you're able to overcome this challenge without waiting for people to recognize you who are not ready to recognize you. So as a solution, I've talked about bootstrapping, about among other things that a woman needs to do to bring their project to visibility. The other many challenges that comes along, but I think those two are the main challenges. The third one is lack of mentorship. Lack of mentorship, I mean like the skills that are required for women to build startups today. Most of the women don't have them. But you find like today we have started now saying like women in Africa are being over-mentored and under-sponsored. So you'll find like these women, they have been over-mentored because you have done for 13 mentorship program, but then among the 13 mentorship program you have done, not even a single one that has been able to give you finances you require. So women in Africa are being over-mentored across. There are so many mentorship programs that are ready to accommodate our women, but very few programs that are ready to finance the project that women have started. So that's one of the other big challenges that we are facing currently. Having so many projects that are mentoring women, but then very few that are ready to finance the projects that women are doing. Those three things, they go hand in hand. Because I don't understand why an African woman need to be mentored by 6 projects before she gets finances to do what she is being mentored to do. I'm not the kind of a person who supports the ideology that women in Africa lack skills. But then what I say is that women in Africa, they lack finances and they lack feasibility. Because if you ask any given startup woman who have been very serious about what she's doing, and she has been in this industry for quite a time, they'll tell you they have done 10 projects, 10 fellowships, 3 fellowships, 5 fellowships, and these fellowships, they train the very same thing. So this given person has been duplicating the same lessons on different projects.
Thank you, Doreen. Your story is for sure one of a very high level risk taking. You are indeed a risk taker. Having been a founder that began from a scratch and has experienced the challenges, as you're highlighting, you've just mentioned some of the challenges to be lack of resources, lack of visibility, and of course, lack of mentorship. And you just touched on it, but ran away from it, that you have also tackled about the solutions to this problem. Will you just give us one solution to either of those three? Lack of resource, visibility, lack of mentorship. What do you have to say? You'll just give us one solution. The rest, we can buy the book and read for ourselves.
Every solution is featured in the book, Dottie. we have we have all the solutions. But then we need to, for women to be able to jump the 3 hurdles that I've talked about. Number one, women need to understand like being an entrepreneur is quite risk-taking. And they need to understand you will have to work through the journey of isolation. And I call this the journey of isolation, whereby you are not visible completely. And there is something that you feel like you can offer to the world. There is a problem that you are very sure you can solve, but then you don't have somebody to support you. So through this journey of isolation, loneliness, feeling like you don't know what you want to do, number one, I advise women to look for the tribe, just as I said, build your own tribe. This tribe has to involve not only your family, but it has to involve mentors who are able to guide you, who are able to talk to you, who are able to help you become visible. My journey is a journey of mentors. I am who I am today because of the kind of mentors I have been able to attract across the globe. There is not even a single accolade or award I have won without having somebody standing behind it as a mentor. So everything I know is that a woman or somebody who want to grow across the ladder, you will have to have a mentor. This mentor is somebody who will have to help you push even when you feel like you are giving up and even when you don't want to go. Because there are so many times we feel like we are tired. I just need to put this project aside and start something else. But when you have a mentor who you are able to open your heart to, your mind to, and this person is passionate as you are, this person will be able to help you jump the 3 handles I've talked about. Whether it's mentorship, whether it's training, whether it's looking for finances, or whether even it's about visibility. The other point that we need to think across is apart from working across, pushing for money and finances, and working across making sure that we are visible, we need to work on embracing the holistic approach about us being self. I'm a human. I need to look for the holistic approach of being human. And when you go to the book, you'll find that I have talked about this holistic approach, because sometimes we feel lost in this world. And we are lost when it comes to, we are looking for fads. Just as I said in the beginning, you're looking for fads. You are a young woman trying to raise a family. You are trying to complete your education. Maybe you're doing your degrees, you're doing your masters. You have parents that you're taking care of. You have another small business that you're trying to build, because that small business is the one that is maintaining you. So the best way is you need a mentor, but also you need to have what we call the holistic approach about being yourself. And this includes, you need to think about your physical health, your mental health, your intellectual health, your environmental health, your financial health, your spiritual health, and your social health. When you go to the book, you'll find, like I've talked about, embracing the 7 pillars of the holistic approach about being a human. This journey can become very challenging. And I told you in the beginning, Mr. Radido approached me because I wrote about a young man whom we lost through suicide at a very young age. And I know how challenging this journey can be because I have walked it. I know how many times we feel like we want to close our offices and just go home. But then what comes here and what I can offer right now, get this in yourself. You need the holistic approach. You need to learn how to think about the 7 pillars of being a human. You need a mentor who can walk with you, and you need to start learning how to build your tribe. And within your tribe, these mentors are, the coaches are, your family members are, and people who believe in you and believe in your dream. Have I answered that?
Yes, you have answered my questions.
Yes.
I'm coming to the realization that as much as you're different authors of this same book,
Yeah.
coming from very different perspectives, there are things that are very common. There are things that are cutting across. In every conversation, you hear about the support system. Some call it creating your own village. And today we have a new term for it, building your tribe.
Yes.
So it is coming out that as a risk taker, it is very fundamental that around you there is a reliable support system. That has really come out. And I think it is something that as learning risk takers or evolving risk takers should really be aware of. Make sure there is a support system around you. Thank you for that. Now, the general title of the book is highlighting the value of risk-taking. You, as Doreen, the founder of Ustawi Africa, what is the biggest risk that you took as a founder, and how has it shaped your journey? If you're willing to share with us.
This is about the overcoming the unseen scars. Overcoming the unseen scars is quite a risk-taking job, Dottie. And this is because when you come and find these young founders who are here, we all have our stories, our fears, the scars that deep in us, they hold us and they don't let us go. And one of the least, sorry, I'm a farmer, don't worry. One of the least, I know you'll hear the background noise of my dog. And one of the least taking thing I've done is making sure that I'm able to overcome the unseen scars, the silent screams. These silent screams, you might term them as just like what we said. Somebody can term them like fears. Somebody else, when you talk about the silent screams or the unseen scars, they will talk about the fact that you are not able to come up clearly and talk about yourself. And other people will talk about the personal deep pain they go through. But for me, one of the biggest risks that I've taken is to overcome my unseen scars, these scars that nobody can be able to talk about. And along the journey, I made a decision that irrespective of what I am doing or my journey, I want to overcome my unseen scars by building Ustawi Africa to help the rural women. I've worked with international NGOs for quite a long time, and my journey started way back in 2013 when I joined some of these organizations just as a very young girl.
Are you there, Doreen? Is it my internet or your internet? Can everyone else hear me? Anyone please
Yes,
confirm?
we can hear you.
Okay, so it's like we lost Doreen. Okay, as we are waiting for her to come back, please let us engage her. Chat down something, make a comment, share your thoughts, ask her a question. She will be very willing to answer. We are looking at We Took the Risk, an anthology written by 14 women leaders from different backgrounds in different careers with different experiences, just sharing their real life stories of how they took risk, the challenges they experienced, the lessons they learned, and outcomes of the same. This is a book that is trying to highlight the value of risk-taking and why women should embrace it as a strategy for growth and success. This book will be launched on the 30th of November at the Trademark Hotel. We are inviting you to join us for that beautiful experience. We promise you it's going to be exciting. And we have a registration link shared in the chat. If you want to be part of that experience, feel free to fill out the form there and do the needful. Then you can plan to be part of us on that day. We also have the book ready. This is how the book looks like. It's a beautiful book. It's really, really a beautiful book. Let me just make sure that I can also see it as I share it. This is the book. We Took the Risk, a very beautiful book, and it's available for your purchase. You can make an order. We have the order link available, and the book shall be delivered to you. Our contacts are also available in the chat. If you're having any questions, you're having any concerns, you need assistance from us, feel free to reach out. We are always willing to attend to you. And we have Doreen back. Doreen, we lost you, but we are grateful you're back. We can pick it from where you left.
Sorry, Dottie, I think my Wi-Fi has done that thing again. It's okay.
Yeah, these things do those things.
Yes. So just as I was saying is that the journey about building Ustawi and bringing it to where it is started way back when I was working with the communities in different areas. And since then, it has been a very, very challenging journey, and seeing how women suffer in the rural areas. I wanted to build something that would be able to help them and become a solution to them. And learning how to do it, and learning how to overcome the challenges and the barriers of working with the rural women has been one of the biggest challenges and risks I have taken. I remember when you're working with the rural women, sometimes they are able to understand what you are saying today, but tomorrow they will not be able to understand it. So you have to keep repeating what you said yesterday. And the fact that I work with the rural communities, you realize we don't have the technologies in the rural areas. We don't have the infrastructures that we require in the rural areas. So overcoming all that has been a journey of risk-taking. And I think that has been the biggest risk I have taken. And also trying to overcome the unseen scars and the pain that we have seen going through in community when we have been working with these communities for years through. We have seen a lot of cases when it comes to malnutrition and hunger, and each and every day you carry the question of how will I be able to overcome this? How will I be able to help this community to stand? And how will I be able to solve the problem they are going through?
Wow, I didn't see that coming. You know, just saying that the greatest risk you have taken is overcoming the unseen scars. That is too deep. You know, I thought you would talk about a project that you started and things like that, but you've approached it from a very different perspective. And yes, that's a huge risk. That's a serious risk, overcoming the unseen scars. Wow. So as a founder, as an entrepreneur, you know, who has grown from nothing to something, and now you're visible, now you probably have the resources and you have a group of mentors around you. What would you say are some of the unexpected lessons you learned in your journey that you feel that other women founders can benefit from your story?
Keep learning, number one. Learning is a continuous process. Never stop learning. And never stop embracing any opportunity you get outside there to learn. Number two, know the little gift that God has given you. Find out what really stands out for you and stay there. So many times we don't realize what God has given us and all who we are, all the purpose. But the moment you realize who you are, your purpose, stay in that purpose, work on it until you become somebody whom the world can need. Seek competence as a continuous process, just as I've said. Competence is everything that this world needs. The world doesn't need people who are not competent in what they are doing. Whether you're building a business, whether you're a publisher, whether you are designing, whether you are farming, even in farming. Right now, we want competence people in farming, people who understand what they are doing. So keep seeking for competence. And if there is something that I believe in working on myself, working on my skill, honing them, making them sharp, and working on my competence. Because if it's speaking, today we might not be able to speak or to be the best speakers, but then I have to keep working on it. So this continuous learning, this continuous process of seeking competence, and this continuous process of understanding who you are and what is your purpose on this earth. Those are the three things that I can tell anybody. Go after them, because the moment you go after what God wanted you to become, then God will be in that project. God will be in that thing you are doing. And there is not even a single day that you will fail. And then when you realize who God wanted you to be, or the gift that God has given you, then seek competence. Work on it, refine it until it's the best. Do continuous learning, learn until you are able to be the kind of a person the world is looking for.
Thank you for that. I'm just wondering, one of the conversations that has really come up, or one of the statements that has really come up, is calculated risks. And you know, in one of our previous sessions, I asked a question, and maybe I want to ask you this question. Why should risk be calculated when it comes to women and bold when it comes to men? And how do I want to put it? How do you balance embracing risk while managing the fear of failure, especially in a challenging business environment?
Calculated risk. We have talked about calculated risk so many times. And to me, calculated risk is all about understanding completely what you need to do and where you need to be. And you feel my area of competence right now is when I'm talking about the matters of women. So one of the calculated risks I've done right now is to be able to equip myself with issues of women and be able to stand and talk about them. I understand them better. And I understand them better from the fact that I'm working with the rural communities, and I live not in the rural communities. I live far away from rural communities. So I've been able to equip myself with the fact that I work with the rural community and I don't live with them. So when you tell me to talk about women, I can talk from where I'm standing, from the point of being the CEO, and from the point of being in the boardrooms, and from also the point of having an opportunity to work with women who are not in the boardroom and who cannot be consulted in the boardroom, but I'll make sure that their voice is heard in every given boardroom. So to me, I feel to have this calculated risk is just getting to know who you are, number one, and understand why are you here, the purpose, and where you are heading. That's what simple, to bring it in a very simple way that everybody can understand. That's what I can say. We need to understand why we are here and why embrace where we are going and embrace who we are.
Now, Doreen,
yes,
one of your audience is holding you down here. And Milka Waidaka says,
yes.
I wish Doreen can open up about those unseen scars. It may be of help. Can you see that? Can you see that question?
Yes,
in the
I've
chat?
seen that question. Milka,
I wish Doreen can open up about those unseen scars.
Yes, the unseen scars to me started, just I've said, it started way back. And this is because I've managed to work as a community developer for quite a long time and a social worker. And when I'm working as a social worker and a community developer, there are things that I've seen that just belongs to community. But there is also the issues of me as a person, me as a woman, going through the issue of trying to build the organization. And I understand that when women, we are trying to grow the randa, you find like there are people who are discouraging you to grow because they don't believe in you. In our community, we have what we call the stereotype. Men who doesn't believe women can grow. You realize like you're employed by people who doesn't want to see you growing across the ladder because they don't believe women can make it. When I talk about the unseen scar, I talk about the pain that I had to go through when I was trying to grow and when I had to challenge the stereotype. And most of these challenges left me with scars because they could not believe that I opted to choose this as a journey or what I wanted to do. The words you get when you're dealing with stereotype, the behavior, the treatment they treat you, left me with a lot of unseen scar. And I feel like each and every day of my growth has been trying to prove to the world that women can make it and women can grow. I understand also that we as women, we go through so many other issues that leave us so much frustrated, not only dealing with stereotype, but also trying to navigate the issues of marriages that are not working, relationships that are not working, trying to become a mother, and at times we become mothers when we feel like I became a mother at a very early age, and then you are trying to navigate it. So there are so many issues that women have to go through to overcome these unseen scars. But unseen scars, if we all look back into our lives, there is always something that you're trying to overcome that is not seen from the surface. Nobody can see it. Nobody can talk about it, but you are battling it inside yourself. And this is something that we all need to overcome. What you are battling, whether it's in your mind or in your emotion, that internal battle, it's something that we need to overcome so for us to become what we need to become. The bad thing about the internal battles is that they restrict us from growing. They hold us back. Because every time you try to grow to the next level, that internal battle, that unseen scar, it started. That's why I call them the silent screams. They start to scream again. I call them the silent screams. They start to scream again. Every time you want to shine, it's when you are getting to stage that the silent screams start reminding you that your skin has an issue. You don't have a good body shape. I think you're too short, you're too tall. I think you look like this, or you look like this. I think you had a failed marriage. I think you separated with your husband. All these things are the unseen scars. Out of the scar itself, what else you get out of it is the silent scream. This silent scream is a scream that when I'm seated next to you, I can't hear it screaming, but it's so silent, but then it's a scream. I hope, Milka, you understand what I'm saying. It's a scream, but it's so silent that nobody else can hear. It's a scar, but then nobody else is able to see it. Only you who knows, like you have these scars. And two of these things, they work together because they will scream when when you just want to glow, and you just want to come to the limelight. When everybody is looking at you to support you, that's when this things start to offend you, to hold you back. It's part of fear. It's part of when you feel like I'm not worth it. Why should I be this person getting this opportunity? Why should I be the person going to speak about this? Why should I be? And I have this field and this field and this field and this field. So overcoming the silent the silent scream or overcoming the unseen scar is one of the biggest risks that women have to take. Because for quite the longest time I've worked with women, every time I sit down with women, they all have their personal pains and stories and past that doesn't look like something they want to talk about. And that is one of the things that hold our women back for so long.
Milka Waidaka, I hope that answers your question. If not, you can post another one to bring her to make more clarity on that. Now, Doreen, we are looking forward to joining you on the 30th of November. Some of us will be there by default. And of course, I know some of the listeners here are so looking forward just to get more of the stories, not just from yourself, but from the other authors as well. As one of the authors of the day, what should we expect from the launch experience? Other than getting a copy of that book that will carry away with us as we come to celebrate you together with your co-authors, what should we expect as attendees of the day?
And the stories and the experiences of women. The women who have written this book have been going through this book, and they are amazing women. And if there is something that I value so much, is something that we call peer-to-peer learning. Peer-to-peer is when women or when people come and they are able to have these platforms to exchange their knowledge. So one of the things that will happen during the launch is what we call peer-to-peer learning. An opportunity for every person to learn from that other given person. You listen to their testimonies and the barriers they have overcome, the challenges they have gone through and overcome. You listen to what these women had to go through to become who they are. And these are just not stories that we can read from books or movies. These are real people who are talking about their stories and their book. And so what we expect from that night is that we will all be learning from our fellow women and how they have been able to overcome several challenges and different challenges and how they became who they are today.
Thank you for that. That is a good promise. If you didn't think there was anything other than the book, you have known there is more to that. Peer-to-peer learning. Thank you, Doreen, for that. Now, Doreen, I want you to take your special time, just a minute or so, and give a special invitation to those of us who are in here and anyone else who is going to interact with this video. Please invite us.
Yes, we will be doing the launching of this book. And I know Milka is in Nairobi, Caroline is in Nairobi, Lydia Joki is somewhere, I know. And we totally want to have you in this event in Nairobi. The good thing is that the event will start around 2 in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm. Did we lose Doreen? Can someone hear me?
Yes, we can.
Oh, so it is Doreen that we have lost. Let me just confirm. Yeah, it seems she has dropped off. So the event will be happening from 2 p.m. Is she back? Oh, you're welcome back.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Oh, I take this opportunity to welcome you. We'll start by 2 p.m. in the afternoon. And the good thing is that we will be done in time. So you will all get time to go back to your places. And I encourage people to build tribes, and building tribe means you get to network. So coming to this forum is not only just the book launch, but also interacting with other women, and you can build a network with them, get to know them, get them to become your friends, and get to learn how you can be able to benefit from their journey and the lessons you can take from their journeys. So we invite you to the launch of the book, and just feel free to become part of it. Just feel free to to come with an open mind to learn and to interact with other women. And I know that will be a beginning of a journey that you're going to take for quite a long time. Thank you, Dottie.
Thank you, Doreen. Caroline Nyaga says, you're very inspiring. Emma says, congratulations, Doreen. And I think there was an Emma's comment somewhere here, up here. It's good that I also read it. Milka Waidaka says, I wish Doreen, oh, that one has been taken care of. I'm looking for something that I cannot see. There was a post there. But I think it said someone is appreciating the kind of work that you're doing, giving back to the community, helping the less fortunate. And I think the last part of that statement said it tells a lot about you. So that was an appreciative kind of a statement from one of the listeners. So I now want to take this special opportunity to say a very big thank you to you, Doreen, as we come to the close of our conversation today. But before we do, I would like you to give us a parting shot. Leave us with something.
One thing I believe is that you can't become what you don't want to become. So you only become what you want to become. It takes a lot of work to become what you want to become. So keep working on yourself. I'm a firm believer of competence. I'm a firm believer of continuous learning. You can't become what you don't want to become. Keep working on yourself. Keep going for it. Sometimes it might be so far, but be patient. Be very patient. I work with farmers, and we have never seen a farmer who have planted today and tomorrow the farmer is in the farm looking for the harvest. It doesn't happen like that. If you plant today, you have to be very patient. You'll have to wait for the soil to work on the seed. You'll have to wait for the lanes. You'll have to wait for about a given time for you to get what you have planted. If you plant a tree, you'll have to give it about 3 or 4 years for you to get the fruits. So be patient on yourself. Keep working on yourself. Understand where you are going, because you can't become what you don't want to become. And after you are done with that, everything will be okay. Keep working on yourself. Sometimes it's a long journey, but along the line, you'll be able to see what you planted at a certain point of your journey. Planting means learning, working on yourself, going for that fellowship, going for that conference, going for that book launch, joining women who are doing book club, joining women who are learning something, joining a meeting somewhere that will be able to help you. Keep working on yourself until you become.
Thank you, Doreen. That has been an awesome conversation. Thank you for sharing so deeply and passionately. Thank you also for the work you're doing. Reading your story, we get to know that you're out there changing lives. I also want to give a very special thank you to our audience for today. You made this possible by listening to this conversation. We look forward to engaging you in our future events, and we hope to see you on the 30th of November at the launch. I cannot miss to give a very, very special thank you to the Zion Pal team that is working tirelessly behind the scenes to make sure that everything runs as it should. Though we normally have sometimes technical challenges that are unavoidable, but we make sure that everything runs like it should. To the Zion Pal team, you're doing a great job. Thank you. And we cannot miss to mention one key person, the founder and the director of Zion Pal Publishers, the organization behind the Shield project, under which this project we took the risk has been done. Thank you, Nitadoso Radido, for this platform, allowing women to come together to mentor and to empower other women. My name is Dottie. I've had the privilege of being part of this conversation as our moderator, and I can assure you I've had an interesting time. How can I live without mentioning one or two things that I have taken away with me? Be uncomfortable in your comfortable zone. Equip yourself. Embrace continuous learning. Risk-taking is a serious thing. A lot is at stake, sometimes even relationships, underlying relationships. It is a personal journey, so the decision has to be made by you. And then Doreen has clearly told us to keep learning, know your real gift, seek competence. And I want to underline it with her parting shot. You can't become what you don't want to become. Keep working on yourself. Hasn't that been an awesome conversation? Doreen, we're very grateful. And with that, we draw the curtains of this meeting. Looking forward to seeing you in our other events, and especially from our end, also inviting you to the launch on 30th November. On 30th November, all roads leads to Trademark Hotel for the launch of We Took the Risk. I wish you a very good evening, and I hope to see you again and again, whether online or in person. Asanteni sana.
Thank you, Dottie. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Doreen.